So I thought I would talk about glaucoma a little bit and how frustrating it has been to work with doctors, in my experience with doctors. Basically, I went into my optometrist for eyeglasses, went home a little bit later, went back because I was having the optical symptoms of a migraine without the pain of the head. So I was very confused. And I am the kind of person who doesn't want anything touching my eyes, very reactive to things touching the eyes, and I would rather skip years, go with new glasses, wear old glasses for several years, than go in and do the test. So when I went back in, he was like, okay, uh, and he took this all very seriously. So I went in with pain around my optical bone, like the bone area where your skull is, which was very strange. And I was seeing flashes of light, little sparks of light in my vision. It was just, my eyes hurt, my eyes are having symptoms, go to the eye doctor. And it was the right thing to do. I was not diagnosed with migraines then, I was diagnosed with glaucoma. It was probably the first time in several years that he had checked my pressures, and he's like, your pressures are high, you have glaucoma, go see a specialist. So at this point, I go into, at some point I go into denial, which is a place that you can't get out of. You keep physically going to the doctors because you know logically you need to, but it doesn't feel real. And it's the first time I think I've ever been in denial about an illness, and it just hit me hard. Like, the more I learned about it, the harder it hit me. And while I was dealing with denial, I was seeing doctors who told me I didn't have glaucoma. I did not know that there would be a specialist for glaucoma specifically, that not all ophthalmologists knew about glaucoma. So I kept going to so many doctors. Finally, I gave up. And at that time, one of the doctors, the first doctor I had gone to, called me back, said, oh, we have a glaucoma specialist now. I'm like, well, okay, I have nothing to lose. So I go in and officially diagnosed, and treatment options brought up. At that point, I had tried drops, and they didn't seem to do much, so I was willing to give SLT a try. That is a laser in the eye. Not really surgery. It's just, it kind of is and it kind of isn't. Very easy. My problem is I already had a problem with my right eye with inflammation, and that SLT irritated my eye. It caused inflammation. Luckily, another doctor that was working there, I went to see him about the inflammation when it got really bad, and I was like, please tell me the truth. What is this? And is the SLT going to make it worse? He said, yes, this is inflammation, and the SLT probably didn't cause it, but it will make it flare up. That was the first doctor in probably 3 years who gave me some very valuable information. For the inflammation in the eye, I had been using Clear Eyes. This stuff will clear it up in about a week. And every doctor I saw that I talked to about this, they would say it was dry eye. Just use Sustain. Sustain, by the way, is expensive if you're using it to try to combat inflammation. They said Clear Eyes was addictive. It has all these things in it. It's addictive. It's bad. This doctor, I asked him, I said, the only thing that works for this is Clear Eyes. But everyone tells me not to use that. And he said, well, and I told him, I've tried Sustain, I've done it. Like, I've been all over the place for the past several years. He said, if it works and it's not addictive to you, do it. Use it. If it works for this, because he saw me when this was really inflamed. I mean, I was like, it looked like I had been in an accident. It was pretty, it can be painful even if you can't really see it. Like right now, I'm having pain, and I don't think you can really see it right now because I've been treating it, and it's just, it hurts a lot more than even you can see. And at that time, yeah. So my experience with doctors has been pretty bad. I saw multiples that would diagnose me but not treat me, or treat me without diagnosing me. They didn't really know what they were doing, and it was really obvious. And nobody warned me about what I could experience with glaucoma. I saw that there was damage to my eye, damage to my optic nerve, and they were really worried about one. And I'm just like, along for the ride. But nobody would tell me what to expect or what to experience. They did keep asking me if I saw halos. I wouldn't say I see halos around lights. I would say they glare to a significant amount to... This is a weird experience. There can be a lamp in the middle of the room, and behind that lamp, along that lamp, it's like the lamp is against a wall, and the wall is a gray mesh, like curtains, like a gray clear curtain, like fog, and then behind that gray is black. So everything on half the room behind that light is gone. And imagine that when you're outside at night trying to get around. When your computer inside your house can blind you, or your cell phone can blind you to everything that's behind it. I can be sitting in a darker room, and everything behind my computer is just gone in certain lighting. I would come into the house, and I would come into the house when it's sunny outside like it is today. You can see the sun on my glasses, and just walk into blackness, just sudden blindness, because my eyes would not adjust to the darkness. Nobody warned me about any of this. I was in the hospital once for a different reason, and released around, I don't know, it was dark when I was trying to leave the hospital, and I couldn't see anything. I really couldn't, like, I could see things, but I could not make out how far the ground was to me, which made a huge tripping hazard. I was just, like, shuffling my feet, and then there was the glare from all the lights, and I felt like I had to wear sunglasses to cut down on the glare, but then if I put on sunglasses, I couldn't see anything. I was blind with my sunglasses on, and I'm just like, this is really bad. This is really bad, because I can't see without sunglasses, but I also can't see with sunglasses. I could not see to find a car. I couldn't see to find a sidewalk or there's really nothing. There was no definition on the ground. It almost felt like there was no ground. And that was a scary situation. That was really a very scary situation. I've had minor issues with, like, contrast, saturation, like not being able to tell the difference between a dark blue, dark purple, and dark brown and black. If I put a black cell phone, or black sunglasses, black cord, something like that, on a dark surface, it can even be a different color. It could be this kind of blue back here. You see how my shoulder and the dark blue behind me kind of blends together? If I put something black on black, it disappears. Transparent things are invisible to me. If there's a transparent thing on the floor, I will not be able to see it at all. Huge danger. And that explains why my glasses are orange. They're actually supposed to be peach. I don't know if that makes sense, but they have glitter in them and this weird effect that kind of makes them look orange. But that's why these are orange, so that when they're off my face, I can actually see them. I started noticing probably 2 years ago, probably a year or two ago, I don't know, it was a while back, that all these bright colors started popping out at me, and that was all that there was. I started making a mental note of the colors I could see easily versus the colors I couldn't really make out. And it was like children's toys. Bright children's toys would pop out at me. Anything neon, glitter, metallic, red, pink, yellow, orange, light green, would be like, hello, here I am. Teal, a nice bright teal. But most other colors are just like a mix, unless I'm looking at it in the right lighting, in a magazine or online or a certain situation like that. But if I'm just looking at something in certain lighting, it can be really hard to tell what's going on. It's a very sobering experience. I was going to garage sales several years ago. I think this was at least 2017. It might have been before that. And it was kind of an overcast, rainy day. And I would go up to a table and have no idea what was on the table until I touched it. Like, I could see things, but mentally I could not process what I was looking at. I would not know, is this a leather bag? There was just this confusion as to what I was looking at. What am I looking at on this table? And I would just be like touching things. It's depressing. Honestly, I'm grateful that I can see. I'm grateful for the vision I do have, but it is incredibly hard. It's very hard. It's something I think I still haven't fully processed. There are times when I go into denial and I forget that I'm visually impaired, because it's like a part-time thing. It's depending on the lighting, depending on circumstances. If I were to wear sunglasses outside and come in, I probably would be able to adjust. So it's circumstantial. It's all about time and lighting and things like that. So I keep forgetting it's a problem. I keep forgetting I am visually impaired. And it's hard because you grow up thinking that vision is black and white, vision is all or nothing. Either there are people that are blind and they can't see, or there are people who can see. And you grow up thinking that's how it is, and then you find out, you get diagnosed with something like this, and then you learn that there are people on a spectrum with vision. Vision is a spectrum, just like hearing. And it's very depressing. It's very... Even if you're not the kind of person to feel sorry for yourself, it is... There are times when you stop and you're like, oh, right, I'm partially blind. Or I'm blind at the moment. There's times when it's just breathtaking how bad your vision is, and nobody talks about this. No, it's very strange. So I just kind of wanted to put out my opinion, put out my experience, and because I really had not noticed anybody talking about this. People don't talk about what it's like when you're losing your vision. People just lose their vision. And it almost, when you're not visually impaired, when it doesn't impact you, it seems like something that happens overnight. It seems like there are people who are blind, and then there are people who are sighted. And you don't even really give a lot of thought to what it's like to be on that decline, be going downhill, be losing your vision. You don't think about that until it happens to you, and then it's this huge shock. So I just thought I would make a video talking about it, and maybe it would help prepare somebody who is diagnosed with glaucoma. I know for everyone it's a little bit different. It's different for everyone, probably, but it's very different to read about this than to experience it or hear it from somebody else. You're reading about glare and low vision and dim lighting is very, very, very different than experiencing it yourself. It's powerful when you experience it yourself. It's like, oh my god, my vision's gone in this circumstance. The unfortunate part about glaucoma, I think, is that the doctors can't really prepare you. They can diagnose you, but they can't give you a prognosis. They can't say, well, you might go blind, or you might lose your vision, or something. They can't really say that. They tell you they don't know. And that's the truth. They don't know if you're going to go the rest of your life seeing, or if you're going to lose your vision. So I understand why nobody really kind of warned me about this. But it's, I think, a lot harder going through it without any warnings. They do the visual tests, and you get the idea that your vision kind of goes black. Your peripheral vision goes black. But when that doesn't happen and all these other things happen, it's very stressful. Yeah. Someone with glaucoma posted a ways back saying that she was terrified of losing her vision. She had this anxiety about it. And I said, I bought a cane. After a couple of experiences with night vision, I bought a cane. And I no longer have those. I still have that anxiety of, oh god, what if tomorrow I wake up and I can't see or something? Or what if I wake up and my vision is that much worse or something? Because it has been getting worse. And just owning a cane has stopped that. I can go, okay, well, it's fine. I'll get there when I get there, because I have a cane. I have actually bought it. It's here. So, and I know how to use it. I mentally know how to use it. So it's okay. Like, if it happens, then I'll be prepared somewhat. It's not going to be the end of the world. So, my advice, I guess, it's just been my personality. I have never had perfect health, and I'm kind of the person who says, okay, prepare for it, prepare for the worst, and you're halfway there. That preparation has given me a good amount of comfort. Just learning about this as much as I can and preparing for it as much as I can has helped, because it stops that mind racing of, oh god, what happens if I no longer think about what happens if I just take this one step at a time, one problem at a time. I have noticed that mentally I have been overcompensating for my vision loss already. I think I'm grateful that I have been losing my vision slowly. I'm grateful that I have the vision I have because it's allowed me to kind of process it and kind of adjust to it. I find myself doing things without looking a lot. And I'm like, I wouldn't have been doing this way. I'll shove my hand in a bag or shove my hand in a drawer and come out with the item I'm looking for without looking for it, for example. Or fill something with water with my finger. It's something that I have started already doing. There are moments where I'm like, that's because I'm visually impaired. You act this way in certain lighting, and then when the lighting is really good and you can see well, you're like, oh, what am I doing? I don't need to do that. I have eyes. Right now. But yeah, I mean, the what ifs do get to you, and you need to just silence the what ifs and what am I going to do, and you need to silence the panic and process it. And so yeah, it's been my way of kind of dealing with that big fear. I think it's very normal to have fear of this, of yeah. But so that's what my vision's like about. I think it's been, God, how long? I wish I knew the exact date that I started getting a diagnosis. I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. I know it's been a long time. But yeah, I'm gonna say over 3 years of glaucoma so far. And that's what it's done.